Hotabu, peace. My name is Hari-Khafra. I am the Neter Tepi, the High Priest of the Temple of the White and Gold Lotus, Shrine of Amun-Ra. And I will be your instructor for beginning Medu Neter. Now first of all, let me say that I am not a master instructor of Medu Neter. I am a beginner. I am a student of Sanut Dr. Riketi Amin Jones. In this video, beginning Medu Neter is only a primer to get you started on studying Medu Neter. The main reference book that I'm using is Sir Alan Gardner's Egyptian Grammar. Now, most of you know Medu Neter as hieroglyphics. But when I speak in public, I like people to feel the difference between the Greek words for Medu Neter, like hieroglyphics, and the actual African word. Now say hieroglyphics. Now say Medu Neter. Now if you're like most people, when you say Medu Neter as opposed to hieroglyphics, you can feel the power of Medu Neter, which means the sounds of the spirit. Hieroglyphics means sacred writings. Now let's discuss briefly reasons for studying Medu Neter. Now there are three basic reasons for studying Medu Neter. The first reason may be historical, because Medu Neter is the oldest written language on the planet. Too many times I give lectures and workshops, and when I ask what is the oldest written language on the planet, many of times I hear Hebrew as the answer. On this video, I will prove that to be historically impossible, because the truth of the matter is Hebrew came from Medu Neter. The second reason is fundamental roots of all languages. Medu Neter is the fundamental root of all languages on the planet, especially Semitic tongues, as Hebrew is, as Babylonian is, as Aramaic is, as Arabic is. Also, Medu Neter is the fundamental root of East African languages. And later on we'll see that Medu Neter is not a dead language, because in Senegal, Wolof, the language of some tribes in Senegal, is a living proof of Medu Neter. Almost word for word of Wolof is the same as in Medu Neter. 3. Another reason for studying Medu Neter is practical spiritual applications. Now there may be some people watching this video who practice the Khemetan spiritual science. And particularly people who are in my priesthood of the Temple of the White and Gold Lotus Shrine of Amun-Ra, who need to know the basic grammar and vocabulary to do rituals using Medu Neter. The different stages of Medu Neter. Now, before we get into the different stages of Medu Neter, look how I wrote the word in English. Medu Neter. Now the first thing you should notice is that between the M and the D and the W and the N and the T with this mark under it and the R, there are no vowels. That's because at times the ancients would not put the vowels in. Some say they didn't put the vowels in because they wanted to keep it secret, so the true power and sometimes meaning of the word were kept away from non-initiates. But let's look at it again. Medu Neter. The vowel between the M and the D is not there. But most folks say Medu Neter. Later on you'll learn that W and U can be interchanged. Now look at Neter. We are assuming there's a E between the N and the T and an E between the T and the R. But this line under the T has a specific meaning that we'll explain later when we go to the basic 24 symbols of what we could call the Khemetan alphabet. Let's continue with our discussion of the different stages of Medu Neter. The first stage is called the Old Khemetic dynasties. Between the 1st and the 8th dynasties. The Old Khemetic system, circa 5000 BC to 2240 BC. The next stage is the Middle Khemetic, from dynasties 9 through 11, circa 2240 BC to 1990 BC. The third stage is the Late Khemetic, from dynasties 18 to 24, circa 1573 BC to 715 BC. Then we have the fourth stage, the hieratic form. It's like a cursive form that began around circa 700 BC, and the fifth stage, the demotic form. The demotic form is really a faster way of the hieratic form. Now let's look at some examples of the hieratic form and the demotic form compared to the Old Khemetic and Middle Khemetic and Late Khemetic forms. Here we have an example of the hieratic form and the Medu Neter form. Down here we have an example of the demonic form or demotic form and Medu Neter. Before we continue with our beginning Medu Neter lessons, let me teach you your first word in Medu Neter. And this word that I'm going to teach you may be the most important word for you to learn Medu Neter to the best of your ability. This word is Shah. It is composed of a trilateral pictured as a pool of papyrus, giving you the word Shah. The vulture, giving you the word Ah, or long A. And the pool of papyrus, again, giving you the word Shah. Together it is Shah. It means respect. You must show respect for learning Medu Neter. And one of the best ways to learn respect is to show Sha'asha to the two patrons of Medu Neter. They are Jehuti, whose name is spelled here, and Seshata, whose name is spelled here. Jehuti is the male patron of Medu Neter. He is the Sesh Neter, the divine scribe. He is the creator of Medu Neter on a spiritual level, on the seed level. Seshata, she is the patroness of Medu Neter. She is the mother of Medu Neter. She gives shape and form to Medu Neter. And the way we're going to show Sha'asha to Jehuti and Seshata is through the most common African ritual on the continent of Africa. And that is by doing derp, which is drawn with the hand for the D sound, the mouth for the R sound, and the square mat for the P sound. Derp, which means libation. Here we have a statue of Jehuti. He is pictured as a man wearing the mask of the ibis, a bird similar to the crane. He's holding the Kedusha staff, the staff of wisdom. Pictured below is Seshata, his mate. We will now do derp to Jehuti using the Khemetan, which translates as homage to thee, Jehuti. I am the power of Jehuti. I am Jehuti. And then we'll do derp to Seshata with the same Khemetan, translated as homage to Seshata. I am the power of Seshata. I am Seshata. And it's Rak Jehuti. Netjer Metu. And it's Rak Seshata. Netjer Seshata. Now let's learn the Kemetic alphabet. The Kemetic alphabet is composed of 26 unilaterals. Those are single glyph sounds. There are also bilaterals, which are composed of 2 of the 26 unilaterals. And there are trilaterals composed of 3 of the 26 unilaterals. So it is very important to master the 26 unilaterals. Let's begin. First we have the vulture, which is a long A sound, illustrated by an A with a line over it. Pronounced ah, as in balmy. Then we have the reed leaf, which is an I or Y sound, as in sitting. Then we have two reed leaves, which is an E sound, as in feeding. Then we have a man's outstretched arm, which is an A sound, as in arm. Next comes the baby quail, which is a U sound or a W sound, as in smooth and wings. Then we have the B sound from a man's foot, as in bobbed. Following, a square mat, which is a P sound, as in purple. Next comes a horned viper, which is an F or V sound, as in fearless and viper. Then we have an owl, which is a M sound, as in mummified. Then we have a symbol representing a shelter, as if you're looking down on a shelter. And this sound is H, as in hot. Following, we have the water symbol, which is an N sound, as in nesting. Then we have the symbol of a mouth for the R sound, as in red. And notice how I rolled my tongue. It's important. When we say the R sound for the mouth is red, or R. Now, we have the twisted flax, which is the second H sound. Now in Old English notation, it's an H with a dot over it. I rewrote it as an H with an exclamation point. So it's ha, as in half or hank. Now that's different from this H, which is a regular H. If you want, call it a soft H, as in hot. But this H for the twisted flax is a hard H, or an H said with excitement, as in half or hank. Then we have, well, some folks call it the placenta or shaded hole. It's the K sound. In fact, in my name, Khafra, the KH sound, K, as in locked. Then we have a cow's udder and tail, which is the ch sound, as in chocolate. Next we have a folded cloth, which is an S sound, as in standing. Sometimes the bolt is used for the S sound or for the Z sound. Then we have a pool, which is the sh sound, as in the word shade. Next, we have a hill, which is the Q sound, as in queen size. Following is a cup for the K sound. And I should put in here, sometimes is used for the C sound. So the cup is a K as in king size. Next is a stand, whose sound is a G as in golden. Following is a loaf of bread, which is a T sound as in tasty. Now another T sound, the check rein, like for a horse, when you're holding the rein of a horse. It's the Ntchr sound, as in the phrase, the check. Now another T sound that's very confusing. We have a hand, which is a soft T, illustrated in the Old English notation by a T with a dot over it. It's pronounced D, as in dirty. So don't get these three T's mixed up. We have the half a loaf of bread, a T sound as in tasty. We have the check rein, a Ntchr sound as in the check. And we have the hand, which is a soft T, written as a D. Now in Budge's dictionary and in Budge's translation of the Par-aou, the book coming forth by day, he uses the old notation for the hand. A T with a dot over it is pronounced D, as in dirty. And lastly, we have a cobra, a DJ sound, dj, or J sound, as in edgy. And if you go back on the tape and look at the word Jehuti, the patron of the Medu Neter, you'll see that that cobra was the first glyph in his name. In fact, the old way of pronouncing Jehuti's name was Djehuti. Now, let's have some fun and sing the Medu Neter song, Mission from Ra, to help learn the Kemetic alphabet. Let's learn the Medu Neter Mission from Ra song to get our Kemetic alphabet. Now, if you have the booklet, you can follow through. Remember, we're going to say the sound and then mention the glyph. On a hot, balmy day, a vulture was sitting by a reed leaf, feeding on 2 reed leaves, when a man with an outstretched arm smoothed the wings of a baby quail that bobbed near the man's foot that was standing on a purple square mat, when a fearless horned viper mesmerized a mummified owl that hopped through the shelter. He was nesting near the water, and in his red mouth he had half a hank of twisted flax that he locked up in a shaded hole, with a chocolate cow with an uttering tail was standing under a folded cloth in the shade of a rectangle pool on top of a queen-size hill, when a king-size cup of golden jars on a jelly stand was spread on half a loaf of tasty bread that the cow ate, held in the check rein by a man with a dirty hand who was jumping away from an edgy cobra. Now the song gives you the sound and the glyph. On a hot, balmy day, that's the sound of A as in balmy, there's your vulture, was sitting by a reed leaf. We have our I sound in sitting. There's your reed leaf. He was feeding on 2 reed leaves. Our E sound in feeding. There's your reed leaves. When a man with an outstretched arm, there's our A sound in arm, and there's your arm. Smooth the wings of a baby quail. There's your oo sound in smooth, and your W sound in wings, and there's your baby quail. Bob near the man's foot. There's your B sound in bob. There's your man's foot. He was standing on a purple square mat. Purple P sound, square mat. There's your symbol. When a fearless horned viper. There's your F sound and your V sound. There's your symbol, a horned viper. He was mesmerized by a mummified owl. There's your M sound and mesmerized and mummified, and there's your owl, your symbol. As he hopped through the shelter, hop, your H sound, and there's your symbol, shelter. He was nesting near the water, your N sound and nesting, there's your symbol for N, the water sound. In his red mouth, R, there's your mouth. He had half a Hank, that hard H, and half and Hank, and there's your twisted flax, your symbol. That he locked up in a shady hole. Your K sound as in lock, and there's your shady hole. For chocolate cow and utterant tail, your Ch, and there's your utterant tail. He was standing under a folded cloth, your S sound, there's your folded cloth for the S sound. In the shade of a rectangle pool, your Sh sound and shade, there's your rectangle pool. On top of a queen size hill, your Q sound and your queen, your hill. King size cup, your K sound, your cup. Golden jars on a jelly stand, your G and your stand. Tasty bread, tasty, T, and there's your half a loaf of bread. Held in the check ring, the Ch, and there's your Ch sound, the check ring. A dirty man with dirty hand, your D sound, and edgy cobra, the J. Now, let's try with music. On a hot, balmy day, a vulture was sitting by reed leaf feeding on 2 reed leaves when a man with an outstretched arm smoothed the wings of a baby quail that bobbed near the man's foot that was standing on a purple square mat when a fearless horned viper mesmerized a mummified owl as he hopped through the shelter. He was nesting near the water, and in his red mouth he had half a Hank pop, a twisted flax that he locked up in a shaded hole with a chocolate cow with a uttering tail was standing under a folded cloth in the shade of a rectangle pool on top of a queen size hill when a king size cup of golden jar on a jelly stand was spread on half a loaf of tasty bread that the cow ate. Held in a check ring by a man with a dirty hand who was jumping away from an edgy cobra. Let's try it again. On a hot, balmy day, a vulture was sitting by reed leaf feeding on 2 reed leaves when a man with an outstretched arm smoothed the wings of a baby quail that bobbed near a man's foot that was standing on a purple square mat when a fearless horned viper mesmerized a mummified owl as he hopped through the shelter. He was nesting near the water, and in his red mouth he had half a Hank pop, a twisted flax that he locked up in a shaded hole with a chocolate cow with a uttering tail was standing under a folded cloth of a shade of a rectangle pool on top of a queen size hill when a king size cup of golden jar on a jelly stand was spread on half a Iji cobra. Now, if you have the CD that comes with the DVD, play the music, sing with it. Now the CD goes a little faster. I would suggest playing this while you're relaxing, washing dishes, or driving. The more you hit it, the more you get it. Okay, let's start with how to draw the vulture, whose sound is a long A. Now, when I draw the vulture, I start with the top of his head, and I try to keep it flat. Okay? Then we're going to work our way down his beak, or her beak, and we give a little peak here for the beak. Now we come in, here. Now, at this point, I work on coming down the back of the neck, and then I round out the wing. Okay? Now we're going to continue with the wing, going up with a horizontal line here and meet at that tip. Now let's work on the breast. We come down here, and then we do the first leg like so. Okay? Notice that it's on an angle. Now we can come up a little more to here. Now we have another part of the tail which comes down here a little longer than the wing here. And notice that the angle of the leg here and the angle of the tail are the same. And then we go to here. Alright? Now, we're going to draw another leg here at the same angle, like so. Alright? In fact, if you want to make that a little longer, okay, like so, and draw two legs here in a little line, like that, and put a little dot there. Okay, and we have our vulture. Alright. Now the reed leaf, the I or the Y sound is easier. Let's start at the top. We draw a little curved line, then come down straight as you can. Alright? Now come out at an angle with a straight line and then curve in. Now we have our reed leaf. And two reed leaves is just as easy. You draw one reed leaf like we just did, and draw another one, but keep it close together. Don't have it too far apart. Alright, so once again we start at the top, a little slope like that, and keep coming down straight as you can. Now you come out at an angle and curve in. Now we have our two reed leaves, our E sound. Now the outstretched arm may be a little hard. So let's draw the hand first. So we're drawing like the thumb. Alright? So we got a little thumb there. Then we're going to come out with our hand like so. We curve up, come down, and now we have our hand. And the rest part is easier. You draw the arm. Okay, come up, and like that. And there is our outstretched arm, our A sound. Now we're going to return to our bird family with the baby quail. Now start with the top. Draw a little circle section like so. Now get a little beak. And now we have our head, like so. Okay? Come down the back, and a little tail here. And now we come inside here, like so. Now put a little wing, remember it's a baby quail, a little wing like so. Okay? And we're going to draw a little bit of a section, beginning of the leg, like a little triangle. Now draw the leg here and another leg here, and we do our little line underneath. I'll give him a little eye, and there's your baby quail, our oo or wah sound. Now the B sound, the man's foot. Start with the top, I guess we can say like the mid of the thigh, like so. Now we come down, draw a little heel, bring out the foot. Next I start at the top again and I come down. Now we got to draw the foot, like so. There's our B sound. Next comes probably one of the most easiest sounds to draw. The purple square mat, our P sound. And just draw a square the best you can. Start at the top, draw a line here, come down a line here. Now match that line for length, and there's your square mat, your purple square mat, your P. And if it's not exactly square like mine is, let me straighten that. I'm drawing at an angle, so it gets kind of hard to draw. And so you have them meet, and there we go. There's our P sound, our purple square mat. Now the next sound, the F or the V sound, the fearless horned viper, I've seen it drawn two ways. I've seen it drawn this way, where we draw the head of the viper, then it comes down, and we got a little hump here going out to the tail. And now we'll start at the head, come down, and just draw the rest of the body going to the tail. And there's your horns, sometimes a little eye, maybe not. And I've seen it drawn that way. And I've seen it drawn a simpler way, where we start with our head, we come down, there's a hump here, like that, and we come down, and instead of following up the body like that, I've seen people draw it just like that. Okay? Now, what happens sometimes, when people see that, I'll give them an eye. When people see that, they think it's a snail, but I've seen it drawn both ways. So there's our fearless horned viper. Now the M sound, the owl, in fact the mummified owl. Now, this may be a little difficult, so let's start with that top of their head. Draw a flat line, as flat as you can. Now let's come down on the back, going down to the wing, like so. Now next, draw the eyes and the beak, like so. Now we're going to come with the wing, come out, and it doesn't go all the way down to the tip, it stops there. Alright? Now come on to the other side of the face, we come down to here. Now this is the bottom part of the leg, we square that, come up, and come down again for the tail. Draw the other leg in like this. And now just put your legs in, one leg here, and a little line. And we have our mummified owl. Now for those of you who have trouble drawing, you should be happy. The rest are easy. Now we have the H sound for the shelter. Start from the bottom, go up. Now go horizontal. Come down again. Go horizontal the other direction. And just go up. This is the shelter. This is like looking down on an enclosure. Once again, if the line is not all that flat or straight, that's okay for now. It's our H sound. Next is our N sound. The water symbol. Make one triangle minus the bottom part. Make another one. 3, 4, 5, and 6. And that's our N sound. The owl that was nesting near the water. In fact, 3 of these makes the symbol for water. Next, the R sound. Very simple. We make it oval. We draw our top line, and then we draw our bottom line. There's our red mouth. Our red mouth. Next is our twisted flax, our second H sound, our hard H. Start with a little bit of a circle like so, and we come down, and we're going to cross them. Make another one, come down, cross it, make another one, come down, cross it, and loop it like that. There's our half a hank of twisted flax. It's like taking a rope, you know, and you a rope like this, and you twist it. Next, our K sound. The K, as in locked up in a shaded hole. We draw a circle, best of your ability. Okay, we draw a circle. And we just shade it with horizontal lines. How many lines? It doesn't matter. Just as long somebody can recognize it as a shaded hole. That's our K sound. Remember the K sound, you gotta roll the back of the tongue. K, K. In most Latin languages, like English, the back of the tongue is not rolled. K. It's hard to say. As in my name is Khafra. Now it's time for the Ch sound. Okay, what we're going to do is this. We're going to draw an oval, like so. Okay. Let's get a line between it, like so. Now we're going to put, like, almost like petals around it. Alright, how many? Doesn't really matter. Okay, I'm pretty sure classically it does matter, but for our case, we go like that, okay? Now we're going to draw a tail. And there's our udder, the cow's udder, and tail. Our ch sound, as in a chocolate cow for udder and tail. Next comes probably the easiest symbol, and that is the folded cloth. Let's start from the bottom We go up straight as we can, and then fold it like that. And there's our S sound, our folded cloth. Now if you want to draw the other way, if you want to start from here and go down that way, that's quite alright. But look what happens. For me, it's hard. My line starts getting crooked. That's why when I do it, I always draw it from the top, curving and going down. The folded cloth, the S sound, and the folded cloth. Our next sound is the sh sound, or other S sound. In the shade of the pool. Draw a vertical line like so. Now a long horizontal line. Come down for another vertical line and just close it off. And you have your pool, your sh sound, in the shade of a rectangle pool, as the song says. Let's do our Q sound, the queen size hill. Let's start here. Let's go up the hill. Now down the hill. Okay? And then let's connect the ground. And we have our queen size hill, our Q sound. Now it's time for the king size cup, our K sound. Let's draw a horizontal line like so. We're going to draw a kind of flat path elliptical sign like so. And now we're going to add a little handle for our cup. And there's our king size cup, our Q sound. The G sound, the sting in our song, the golden jars on the jelly stain. Draw your horizontal line. Now, draw two lines on an angle, one line here, other line here. Draw a little curved line, connected them. And a little pie slice inside. And there's your G. The T sound, as in the tasty bread. Half a loaf of tasty bread. So we draw a line like so. Now draw your little semicircle on top. And there's your T sound. Next is the TCH sound, the ch, as in the check ring. Draw a circle here. Draw your horizontal line. It curves, comes back with another horizontal line, and you have another circle there. And there's your ch, your ch sound, the check ring. The D sound, the dirty hand. Let's draw the thumb first of the hand. I drew my thumb. Alright. Now I'm going to carry the line with the thumb going back to here to so. Okay? Now let's draw the other part of the hand, more like a mitten really. And we come in, come up a bit, and then close it there. And there's your dirty hand, your D sound. Now last but not least, we have the J sound, or our J sound, which is a cobra, an edgy cobra. Draw Cobra's head. We're going to kind of curve in a little bit as we go down, and then his back, and then his tail. Now just complete his shape, like so. And there's our edgy cobra, our DJ or J sound. Every day you can, watch the video and practice drawing. You'll get better and better. Now there is a letter that is missing from our little song, Medu Neter, and that letter is L. And for the L, it's a lion. Okay? Sometimes a little hard to draw, but you draw it the best you can, as I am doing, the best that I can, right? So the lion is an L. And just to remind you again, for Z, we use the bolt. And that's the quick way of drawing the bolt for the Z sound. There's a more graphic picture of a bolt drawn like that, okay? So those are our two other letters, L and Z. L is the line, and Z is the bolt. Now let's start building up our vocabulary by looking at words in Medu Neter. The first word deals with just one single glyph, the owl, pronounced M. It can mean I or N by means of, it can mean with, but only with using it of instruments. It can mean from or out of. The next word is the N sound, pronounced N. It can also mean I, it can mean to, for, to as far as the direction, but only to a person. The next word is the R sound. And this gets confusing because the R glyph can mean I also. It can mean into, towards, to things only, and it can mean in respect of. Now we have a combination, our first combination of two of the basic Kemetic alphabet glyphs. We have the P sound and the N sound, and it's pronounced pin. But you may say, but where's the E? There's no E here. That's because sometimes with words in Medu Neter, the vowels are left out. Some folks say the ancient hellenic priests left the vowels out on purpose, so the pronunciation of the word, especially in a chant for power, cannot be said properly unless you know the hidden vowel. But this is pen. It means this, but only in a masculine case. Masculine case, it means this. The feminine version of this is ten. Once again, the vowel is not there. And this is feminine. Pen or ten, which means this, always follows the noun. Continuing with our vocabulary, we have key. Now notice how key, which means other or another, only in the masculine form. Notice how key with the king's cup and the two reed leaves can be written the reverse order, where the king's cup is facing this direction towards the right, and so are the two reed leaves. That is because Medu Neter can go from left to right or from right to left. It's also written vertically, going down. And once again, key means other or another, and in the masculine case. Kit, the king-size cup and the half a loaf of bread, the T sound, also means other or another, but in the feminine form only. And you will notice that, and 9 times out of 10, when you add the half a loaf of bread, it feminizes the noun. Now, key, other or another, or kit, the feminization of the word other or another, precedes the noun. Now we'll get more into adjectives and how they may precede the noun or be behind the noun. Then we have the reed leaf and the owl. We get yem, which means there or therein, therewith or therefrom. Next we have boo, the man's foot and the baby quill. Boo, for place, in masculine form only, in singular only. Then we have ket, ket. Notice how I'm rolling the back of my tongue. Ket, which means thing, feminine only. Then we have you, the reed leaf and the baby quill. You, the copulative verb is or are. We have ren, name, masculine form only. We have the jed, which means to say or speak. Then we have henna, henna, that's a hard H, henna, not henna, but henna, which means together with. Now let's try some exercises in translating from English into Medu Neter and Medu Neter into English. Now I wanted to focus on this last vocabulary word by itself because we are introducing something new, something called a determinant. This is pa-ta. Ta is a Netjer. Netjer. Netjer is written this way. Netjer. At first it was written like an axe. And later on it was written like a flag. In the axe form, it was the Old Kingdom, and the later kingdom became a flag. This is Netjer. Now Netjer is a trilateral, which we'll get into later. It has 3 sounds. It has the water sound, plus it has the check grain sound, and it has the R sound, the mouth sound. Netjer, mostly translated as spirit. And Par-aou is the Netjer. He's the Netjer of spirit of physical creation. Artists, metalworkers. What you see here is a determinant. It has no sound, but it's telling you that it's a Netjer. Now there are many, many, many types of determinatives that have no sound. But in the next volume of beginning Medu Neter, we'll discuss more determinatives. HN. Next we have ARQ, GRH with a dot under it, MY, and DJSF. Now for our answers. HN is the shelter and the N sign, the water sign. ARQ is, that's the man's arm. And notice I drew it kind of like quickly like that, you can. The R sound, the mouth, and the Q sound, the queen size hill. Then we have G, R, H with a dot under it. Remember that. G, the stand, the jelly stand, the golden jars in the jelly stand. R, the mouth sign, and the hard H, the ha. Okay? Now, if we're going to pronounce that, that's hen, that's arik, and that's grr. Now these aren't real words, they're just sample sounds. Then we have M, Y, or my, M, the owl, and the reed leaf, which could be an I or Y. Now we have the Jess, no real word, but it's DJSF, and that's the cobra, the DJ sound, the folded cloth, the S sound, and the fearless horned viper, the F sound. Now the next exercise is going to be a little bit harder. So if you haven't really mastered the alphabet yet, it's a good chance you have difficulty with this last assignment. There's a better chance you'll have difficulty with the next assignment. So review if you must. Now, you must convert these English statements into Medu Neter. Number one is to another place. Number two is to Par-aou. Number three is another thing is there. And number four is in this name. If you like, you can freeze the DVD or the VHS tape, or turn off the machine while you answer these problems. Alright, let's go over the problems. Number one, to another place. There's ra, ki, bu. If you put in instead of ra, that's incorrect because this is to a non-person. If it was to a person, you would put in ki, not kit, because another in the masculine form is ki. Kit is feminine in bu place. Number two, tu pata, that's in pata. 3, another thing is there. Now, this is a little unfair if you haven't studied Medu Neter, because is the verb state of being goes first, and that's the general word order, which you'll learn in the next video, that the verb goes first, then the subject, then the object. So another thing is there, that's you, kit, ket, yim. You, kit, ket, yim. Is goes first, kit, another, ket, thing, and yim. Notice how I'm saying kit and ket. They sound alike, but they're different. And yim meaning there. Number 4, in this name. In, rin, pin. In for in, rin for name, which is masculine. So I got to use pin for this, which is the masculine form of the Medu Neter word this. These may be a little more difficult. Number 5, pata is there in this place. Number 6, together with another name. Number 7, a thing is in this place. And number 8, pata speaks in respect of this thing. Okay, our first transformation. Pata is there in this place. Once again, the copulative verb is goes first as you. Pata, yem, im, bu, tin. You, pata, yem, im, bu, tin. Pata is there, yem, in for in place, and we got pin. If you got tin, that's incorrect because bu is masculine and tin is for a feminine this. For the male this, it's pin. Number 6, together with another name. We have together with hena, ki, ren. Hena, ki, ren. Together with ki, another ren name. Not kit because ren is masculine. 7, a thing is in this place. Now, when we write it in Medu Neter, it's you, ket, im, bu, tin. Is you, ket. But where's the Sometimes is assumed to be there. So it just says thing. If you're going to be literate, it's thing is in this place. We assume that there's an there. You see that a lot. A lot of times they'll leave the and out. So we have you, ket, Mdw Ntchr. Ptah speaks in respect of this thing. Once again, the verb here is speaks. It goes first. Now, you may say, wait a minute, you gave me that the jet was for say or speak. We'll assume that it speaks, since ptah is singular. So we have the jet, ptah, r, ket, 10. The jet, ptah speaks, r, in respect of, ket, thing. Which thing? This thing. This concludes Volume 1 of Beginning Medu Neter. Once again, I am not a master in Medu Neter. My college degree is in electronics and engineering, but I've studied Medu Neter under Sanukri Katie Amen Jones, who I suggest if you have a contact with her, contact.